The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the March 17th, the fantastic Friday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Hey, let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. You know, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I can make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I am absolutely grateful for your presence here. And even more important than that, and that's this, during this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. Would love to hear from you at 877-927-6648. Now, if you got a question but you can't call in, you can always send me an email. Send that off early. Send it to steve@tfnn.com. And if you'd be kind enough in that subject heading to put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, well, then any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Fantastic Friday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. We've got all the U.S. indices trading to the downside, all the sectors inside the S&P 500 trading to the downside. But I smell a bottom. Let's go take a look at it. Right now, you got the Dow down 401, the S&P off 43, the Russell is down 41, the Nasdaq's off 72, gold's up $40, silver's up 64 cents, light sweet crude off $2 and change, natural gas down 14 cents, and the 30-year Treasury's up 2 points and 5 ticks. She's trading out 132.24. Leading the charge dollar-wise, the upside, you've got MicroStrategy up $17, 7.5%, FedEx up $16, 8%. Baidu is up $6, 4%. Franco-Nevada's up 3%, $4.50. Coinbase is up $4.50, about 7%. Booking Holdings taken in the shorts, down $35, only 1.5%. Sarepta Therapeutics off 20%. That's a $29 hit. 2% for Mercado Libre. That's off 25. Solar Edge is down 7.5%, $22. United Rentals down over 4% or $17. So we got some movers and we've got some shakers. Wait, Stevie, did you say bottom? Well, let's go take a look at the charts out here. In fact, let's just take a look. We'll peer over. First, we'll just start with the ES Mini, show you what we're looking at. I did post inside the Tiger's Den before we came on the show what I had said to subscribers in the newsletter this morning, which was basically we expect the ES Mini to form a TD9 count bottom between 10 and 11. Well, it's now 11.09. And that price would get back to the support area of about 34.54. Well, we take a look at it. That so far is what has rolled out. Now, the cool thing for us here is take a look at the 30-minute chart. Now, why would I have said that? That's a good question. So let's do this. If we take a look at what took place this morning at about 4 o'clock, his price ran right up into resistance where those sellers are at inside the ES Mini. So it's normal to see what can sellers do. Well, we're seeing what sellers can do. We know where they were lined up. You and I, we had a competitive advantage that others didn't have. Then, as I took a look at the intraday charts, well, there were Rhodes Momentum Indicator tops on the 30-minute and the 60-minute time frame charts, and price had dropped below. There was no profile that was present on the 30-minute. There is now, but there wasn't at 8:38:45 this morning. And so as I took a look at it, I could see that the 5-hour chart was forming an A to B equals CD pattern. And at that stage, there was already what looked like might be a bearish engulfing candle. In fact, went on and did perform that. And that would then say when you form a sell pattern, whatever it is, in this case here was a 5-hour sell pattern, that price will likely pull back and test support. Well, support on the 5-hour time frame was sitting right at the top of its profile. There's no profile that's formed right now, and the oscillator and change line was at about that same area, right around 39.45. So that's where the call came from, and so far that has worked out. Now what we have is the 30-minute TD9 count bottom. We're not going to stop there. What we're going to do is we're going to go show you the 4 equity future contracts for their 30-minute time frame. And it's nice when you have synergy. Do we have synergy here? Well, we've got synergy amongst the ES, the YM, and the Russell 2000. The NQ is its own little world out there. But you'll see inside the ES Mini, you've already formed all three of these. You already have formed the TD9 count bottom. So the cool thing about this, if you're wondering, like I'm wondering, well, the markets just simply sell off into the close, and we see just a big crushing 1,000-plus point move to the downside. Well, if that is going to happen, you need to first see a close below the low that took place as we came on the air at 11 o'clock. And that low on the ES Mini, 39.4175. If you see a 30-minute bar close below that, now I do see there's a Rhodes momentum signal that's been triggered here. So short of a bullish engulfing, a bullish reversal candle forming, see, as price moves lower here, this signal may continue to be triggered. I don't, at this stage here, I've got the tool turned off with regard to the details down below here. You'll see it's blank out there. I just don't like to dirty up my charts. I've already got enough on them, so I like to keep them as little as possible if we can. So in this case here, what I would say is if the TD9 count pattern gets negated, price heads lower to where? Well, the price target would be its breakout level, and that's all the way down at 38.70. So yeah, that could give us a 1,000 point in the Dow. That's a plus 100 point move or so inside the S&P 500. I'm not making that call. What I'm saying is we've been given this gift of a key level, threshold level to watch out there. And again, that area is at 39.4175. Now, what should transpire now? Now we have additional information. We did not have this at 8:45 this morning. Here's the issue with regard to this bounce or this bottom, is that prices now for 2 consecutive 30-minute bars traded below the bottom of its bullish structured profile. So let's say we get a bottom here. How are we going to know if it's just a counter trend move? That's very easy. Counter trend moves when you close below the bottom of a bullish structured profile would or should find resistance at either the bottom, which is at 39.61, but more likely the center line, 39.65. So at this day, and we do have an oscillator change line that has changed colors, but right now the counter trend move would or should take us to about that 39.65. So if you're setting up a trade, that's where I'd be looking at taking that trade off. Would it be right at 39.65? No, it'd probably be a point underneath that, but I'd be watching maybe an even shorter term time frame chart, like a 5-minute or a 10-minute, just to get a feel for a flavor as to whether candles are even touching the lows of the session that you're looking at and taking out. So that's what I would do out there. So if we take a look at the Dow equity future contract, same pattern. The difference here is that it's not a bullish structured profile that has formed. So prices below the bottom of profile, its counter trend move might find resistance at 32,190. If price gets above that, it should make its way up to its oscillator and change line at about 32,262. Now we take a look at the Russell 2000, also a TD9 count bottom. By the way, the number to be watching inside of the NQ for the TD9 count is down at 32,024. 32,024. You close below that, that could then trigger inside the Dow equity future contract to move back to 31,656. If we look at the Russell 2000 number to be watching out there, I got to move this, sorry. Is going to be 1741.60. We close below. Oh, wait a minute. I gave you the wrong number. My apology. I think I gave you the wrong number in the Dow. I'm going to come back and give that to you again. The number to be watching inside the Russell 2000, sorry, 1741.60. Did I give you that? Okay, I hope I did. For the Dow, it is 32,024. Let me just make sure. And for the ES Mini, the level is going to be 39.4175. Now, I don't have any kind of a signal here from the NQ. So the question is, does the NQ take its P's and Q's from the ES, the YM, and the Russell 2000? Let's go with the patterns that we've got now. We know what to watch for. It's a beautiful setup. Either even a counter trend move to the upside of the ES, or that takes out those lows of the day so far. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstad's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstad breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. Let's get to a couple of requests that have come in here. The first one from Matt inside the Tiger's Den. He wanted me to take a look at the TD9 counts for the Lightspeed Crude contract. We are trading the May contract out here, Matt. If I open this up, I'm going to open up the daily time frame. I think you've got it right, and that is that bar number 7 did form on March 15th. That would be Wednesday out there. So I think our counts are in line with each other. Now, we won't get a confirmed TD9 count bottom, and you're right about this as well, unless price at least pierces below the low of Wednesday, and that number there is 65.79. That's not the only pattern that's out there. I do show the this consolidation that's out here, but there's also an A to B equals CD to the downside that has completed. So I'm going to switch over. We'll take a look at that momentarily. But first, let's just see if there's anything else here to pay attention to. You can see here on the weekly chart, although this doesn't have everything kind of got shifted once I changed the contract. But here you'll see the A to B equals CD pattern. Well, you sort of see it. There we go. So there's the A to B equals CD pattern. Slightly different than what I've got on my other. We'll use the correct charting application momentarily to take a look at it. But with regard to anything else that I see out here on a 30-minute basis, very much like the ES Mini, the NQ, the Russell, or not the NQ, but the Dow, you're in a TD9 count pattern here. So this should form a short-term bottom between 11:30 and 12 noon. And price should bounce up to about the 67, 68 area. On the like triple bottoms on the 60-minute, you've got a Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom with price pulling back into a bullish structured profile on the 120-minute chart out there. So watch you've got the TD9s right. Watch you're in the bar number 9 right now. So you've got to watch that bar as we come into the 12 noon, and whatever the low is, watch that too, because if we see a close below that tells us Lightspeed Crude would be going south out there. So that's the cool thing about the pattern, is it at least provides us with a little bit of an edge out there, sometimes a lot of bit of an edge. So that's what I see when I take a look at Lightspeed Crude. Now I'm going to switch panels out here, and we'll go, because I'm going to use the actual A to B equals CD tool that I've got on my my e-signal system out here. Let me get back just simply to the So here is the May contract. for light sweet crude. Looks like the A to B equals CD pattern has vanished, so let's put that back in. So the 8 point, you can see me doing this. We're all the way up here at the high in the trading session from June the 8th. The B point is the low from July the 6th, makes a retracement up into a high on July 29th. What we'll see here is that price finally got to the 1-to-1 price projection area back on Wednesday. And so what we're waiting for here is we'd be waiting for a bullish reversal candle to confirm a buy the D point pattern out there. So what you'd love to see out here, Matt, is whether it's today or it's Sunday, Monday, is that spike below the low of the bar number 7 out there, like we took a look at, to confirm a TD9 count bottom. That could get you into an early position while you still wait for a bullish reversal candle to confirm a buy the D point pattern. So that's what I see when I take a look at light sweet crude. I hope that helps you out. Thanks so much for the request. If there's additional information that you need, please let me know what that is, and I'll be happy to get back to you on that. The next question coming in from Stash. This is by email. Let's get up to the stock he wants to take, or he wants to take a look at, which is SBSW. SBSW. Let me make sure I'm on the right spot here. I got to change the screens here. Give me a moment. There we go. So now you'll see the 3 white background screens. That is, Sarbanes-Stillwater out there. So when we take a look at Sarbanes-Stillwater, I think the question was, is this is good for as a dividend stock out here? Well, here's what we know right now. What we don't have is any kind of bottom pattern on the daily time frame out here. And I don't, where is this? This is obviously there's currency involved with this instrument. Anybody in the den know where is this? Where are these guys? Let me see. Zimbabwe maybe. Where are they? In South Africa? Yeah, they're in South Africa. Okay, so you've also got a lot of currency issues going on. That's why you've got all of these gaps that are out here. Almost makes it very difficult. In fact, I would say if you are trading this stock, I'd get access to if you're really trading it, I get access to their exchange so that you can really see how this is trading in that currency, and you probably have a better feel for it than we would by taking a look at this in the U.S. dollars. What we do know is, so nothing that I see here on the bottom, and you're trading below profile. So you're trading below support. The only support you're not trading below is the oscillator and change line. That's at 793. And quite frankly, Stash, if price closed below 793, you wouldn't want to be anywhere near this equity. If we look at the weekly time frame does have a Rhodes momentum indicator signal has been triggered. Price has been below the bottom of its bullish structured profile for 4 weeks now. And you do have a wave number 7 bottom. So it looks like on a weekly chart, you will get a wave number 7 bottom unless we take out last week's low, which doesn't seem likely at this stage of the game out there. But you're still below profile. And on the monthly time frame chart, I've got nothing. Zip, zilch. So I'm not getting a lot of great information, or the information I am getting for you says, hey, stay away. But maybe that's not the correct information. Again, I get access to the instrument on the exchange where it's traded in that currency. Let's see if we've got any data here for SBSW for our historical. Is it SBSW? There we go. And I think we did this the last time. We have a total of 10 years worth of data. This does say that it shouldn't really, based upon this pattern over 10 years, really form a tradable bottom, I'd say, not until maybe the end of March. Then you get a little bit of a rally for about 2 weeks out there. That would be normal. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. And then this thing takes a nosedive. Now, that's been the historical pattern. It may not follow the historical pattern, but it does say be really careful out there. So with regard to Sarbanes-Stillwater, I don't think there's any additional information that I can provide to you. But if so, go ahead and write back, and I'll be happy to get that. The next question coming in from Side the Tiger's Den, and it is from Steve. And Steve wants to take a look at NVIDIA, which he believes is stretched to the upside, or somebody gave a new price target of $300 and some odd dollars. Well, $289.46 would be a price target that Stevie would give you. And that price target out there is the TD9 count breakdown level on its monthly time frame. So I'm just going to start from the bigger picture out here. Bigger picture, this forms a TD9 count top. It does. It confirms bar number 8 in November of 2021. The following month in December, it confirmed that pattern. Price moves down until it forms a TD9 count bottom. You've got to love that. That's in October of 2022. Now what price is doing is price for NVIDIA is above the top of its profile. That's bullish. Top of a profile is where sellers are at. So one up for the bulls on that. It's above a green price oscillator and change line. That tells us we have a rising price oscillator above zero. 2 for the bulls out there. And I don't see any resistance out here. So price here would want to make a run to 289. Where they came up with that 300-ish type target is probably the swing point high from back in November. However, now take a look at the weekly time frame chart. It too bottomed with the TD9 count pattern. Looks like the daily did as well. So you had 3 9s out there. And now where we are at is the bar following bar number 9. And this suggests that on a weekly basis, we should see a top. Well, if we're going to see a top, Steve-O, on a weekly basis, we're going to get some type of topping pattern confirmation, or we should, on the daily time frame. And we don't have that right now. We have a gap to the upside. With regard to NVIDIA, let me see what the volume is today. What are buyers and sellers telling us? If we take a look at volume so far in about 2 hours of trading, done 34 million shares. Yesterday, this instrument did 58 million shares. You have more volume, Steve-O, in NVIDIA today, at least with regard to the first 2 hours of trading, than you did yesterday. We come back to this break. We'll finish looking at NVIDIA, and I'll kind of give you the game plan to be watching for here. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metal sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Back, folks, you got the Dow down 432, S&P's up 49, NASDAQ 105, Russell's up 45, gold's up 43, silver's up 66 cents, light sweet crude is back 246. We're looking at NVIDIA for Steve inside the Tiger's Den. So here's how we would analyze this further, Steve-O. First, we know on a weekly basis we're looking at a potential TD9 count top. Now, what you're going to want to watch is that high. Now, I don't know where that high is going to be based upon today's trading action, but right now the high of the pattern is up at 263.99. So you want to note that. And if price starts trading above that on Monday, or certainly close above it next week. It'll negate that signal and tell you we're headed higher. And again, the headed higher to where the next resistance level to the upside would be at 289.46. But because we know we've got that topping signal, and we have a Rhodes momentum indicator pattern, tells us we have a stretched market, this still requires a bullish or bearish reversal candle. So that's one thing you're looking for. But on a daily time frame where we're going to get a top, we should start to see some tops form on the intraday charts. Not necessarily all of them, but at least some of them. Well, if we look at the 15-minute chart as an example, so lower right, you'll see a TD9 count top that is present. Price right now is just consolidating with inside its profile. There's nothing wrong there. You've got a top. When you get a top, all it's really supposed to do is say, hey, price, go try to find support. Do you even have the strength to get down to support? Well, there's two levels of support on a 15-minute time frame for NVIDIA. The first at 257.29. That is the bottom of its profile. That is where the buyers are lined up. If sellers can overrun them, then they will take price back to where it had broken out from. And the most recent breakout level is 251.29. If price closes below 251.29 on a 15-minute basis, that's telling you about a potential change in trend for that time frame only. Then you slide over to the 30-minute time frame chart. There is no topping signal here. Maybe there is actually, I take that back. I see a sell the D point pattern, right? A to B from this down here at this Rhodes momentum indicator bar all the way up to there, then back down here to the swing. So this has been like a 1 to 2 or so, A to B equals CD. We did get a bearish reversal candle as the market closed here 2 minutes ago. Now what price is doing is testing that green oscillator and change on it. Price is unable to get below that for this time frame. The signal would be neutral. It would be neutralized. It would not be bearish out there. So you want to watch that. If price closes below that line, again, keep an eye on the 15-minute time frame chart. So just take these one thing at a time. The 65-minute chart, we'll go ahead and complete a TD9 count top and do that at 12 noon. So at noon, that says prepare for the market to pull back to test support. For it, support would be about the 251 level. So again, to recap, we've got 251.29 as the breakout support on the 15-minute chart. We've got about 251 as the oscillator and change on a 65-minute chart. Why 65? Because that divides equally into 390 minutes out there, and we want equally timed bars. That's why there's 2-195, there's 3-130, and on the 65, there's probably, what's that work out to, 6 or so bars out there. So that's how we take a look at NVIDIA. I hope that answers the question for you. I guess last thing, we don't have a lot of requests out here, so that's why I've been taking a little bit extra time. But let's just take a look at NVIDIA and see what its seasonal pattern tells us. So let's pull, got to type in the actual symbol NVDA, not NVDBA. So here's NVIDIA. Let's see how many years worth of data we can access. We can access 24 years worth of data. The red line tells us where we're at. So you are in a seasonally, let me just put this out here as well. That's the March 2020 level. You are in a seasonally favorable time period out there that typically doesn't, this instrument typically doesn't top until about March 26th or the 15th. So we're getting close to that range or what have you. And then with regard to the pullback, it doesn't look like it's anything of a major significance, but it doesn't tend to form a bottom until about April the 25th or so. So that's what we've got going on as we take a look at NVDA. Let me just check the email line, see if there's been any requests out here by email. There has not. Inside the Tiger's Den, was there anything else that somebody wanted to look at? Oh, there was a question about the TD9s. So let's pull that up. I apologize. I'm just going back just to check real quickly, see if there's anything. So Goldman Sachs for ELO. Let's take a quick peek. We'll come back to Goldman Sachs here momentarily. Let's take a look at where we're at on that 30-minute time frame chart because we are now past the 11:30 time frame. So TD9 count still in effect. It's the low of the bar following bar number 9. That's this low right here. That was on the ES mini. That was at 39.4175. The actual close was at 39.4325. So that low was just simply tested. Same thing, same pattern that we've got inside the Dow. And inside the Russell's just in its own mind. So the NQ, so the only synergy we have right now is between the ES and the Dow equity future contract. The Russell negated its TD9 count bottom, and the NQ's got nothing, zilch, no support, no nothing on a 30-minute time frame for us to hang our hat on. Again, what we should see here is at least a move, a counter trend move is what we will call, with the ES getting up towards that 39.61 to 39.65 level out there. Let's go take a look at Goldman Sachs. This is for ELO inside our Tiger's Den out here. Let's get to a set of charts. Let's type in the GS, Goldman Sachs, see what they come up with. And it's only 11:35. So, Dennis, if there's some instruments you'd like me to take a look at, please, by all means, go ahead and type in those requests. I'll be happy to do that. In the meantime, let's go take a look at Goldman Sachs trading out at 305.12. So, the daily time frame. Let's just open this up, see if we see anything out here. And, what we see is an A to B equals CD to the downside that was confirmed, it looks like, a few days ago. So let's draw that pattern in as best we can. The A to B point, so we'll draw that. That's going to be to about right there. And I'm just going to move this line over. So move that line over. So that gives us where the 1 to 1 was. So this is more like a 1 to 1.272 or 1 to 1.618. But it's this bullish hammer candle out here, ELO, that you are watching. If price closes below that bullish hammer candle, that's going to negate the buy signal. What you have here is a buy the D point pattern. What price should do is get up, and it tried to do that yesterday. It should get up to test, at least get back inside its profile. It didn't get there exactly. It got close, no cigar. And close might be good enough in this case here. That profile level is at 318.97. So you've got a bottom pattern. It is still in place for Goldman Sachs. Price should go target that 318-ish area, then maybe off to the 327 range. That's on the daily time frame. What do we have going on? We take a look at a weekly chart. Well, on the weekly chart, we've got an A to B equals CD to the downside, but no bullish reversal candle. What price is doing, so let me get back. I can quickly take a look at volume on my other chart, much easier. So give me a second. So on a weekly basis, we're moving lower. We've done 22 million shares. The swing point, and it's not gotten down to it, it's got volume of about 11 million shares. So watch the bottom of that hammer candle. The white background chart said we were at 305. We are not. So that hammer candle low is 304.41. We're at 304.42 right now. So the hammer's being tested. But if there's a close below that, that tells us we're headed lower, which is really the signal that I'm getting from the weekly time frame chart, ELO. The monthly time frame chart is suggestive that 291.32 is its price target area. Real quickly on a 30-minute time frame intraday, what do we have here for Goldman Sachs? Let's pull this over. Goldman Sachs is no bottoming pattern. Well, I take that back. It's trading back into a prior bottom pattern. That would need to see a close below 304.41. So we're back at the 304.41 level. So that is a real key area for you to be watching and observing. Watch today's close. That may provide you with some information. If I take a look at the consecutive days to the upside and downside out here, we just had basically a one-day rally. We've had a couple of two-day knee-jerk reactions. So yeah, this is indicating to me it really wants to head lower. Watch that hammer candle. That will be your confirmation on that ELO. So I hope that helps you out. Thanks so much for the request. Looks like we've got another request out here. Looks like Dano wants to take a look at ticker symbol VALE. Dennis wants to take a look at Microsoft. And Option Dan wants an update for the QQQs out there. We'll do all of that when we get back from this break.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. Let's get to our next request out here. It is to take a look. This is Valley, V-A-L-E, is the ticker symbol is for Dano inside the Tiger's Den. So we take a look at this instrument. Let me open up the daily time frame, looking for some kind of bottom pattern out there. I don't think it's completed, but let's just go check on it. I don't think it's really completed the A to B equals CD pattern out here. So there's your A to B point. Let's move this over. And, I take that back. It's pretty close. Pretty close. I don't know if it's any cigar or not. So, you've got that bullish engulfing candle that had formed out here on the trading day yesterday out there. I would say, so I take a look at the daily chart. I'm uncertain whether it's really completed that A to B equals CD pattern out there. I'm going to go with no, it hasn't. But we do have price above yesterday's high. So with regard to today's activity, what the heck? There we go. This is likely going to target its red oscillator and change line, Dano. And that's up at the 1605 level. So that's what I see so far. I don't see any bottoming pattern per se. If you really stretched it and you gave it a lot of wiggle room, but that's probably at a percentage base just too much, that it really hasn't gotten to that D point of that A to B equals CD pattern. If we take a look at the weekly time frame, prices below profile levels. Your bar number 7. This is really suggesting to you and I that what this wants to do is get back to the 1364 level. On a monthly time frame, you're back inside its profile. Month is not over, but a close in the month below 1597 would suggest 1356 to 1236. On a 30-minute time frame, what has Valley done, or Vail? It formed a TD9 count top. So to the upside, what this would tell you, Dano, is if you do see a close, and you need to see a close above this high, that's where it would have meaning at 1585. That would then tell you you're headed to 1604. Now, the positive here today is that you have a TD9 count top that has so far just led to a sideways move. Price is above the top of its profile. So we're going to give this more of a neutral type signal than we are anything else. But keep your eye on it. Know that you've got that short-term time frame program out there. If I look at the consecutive days up, consecutive days down out here, yesterday was just today looks like it'll be day number 2. Knee-jerk reactions in this stock typically form on bars 2, sometimes 3. Yeah, 2s and 3s. It occasionally gets up to 4 or more, but 2s and 3s, which is the normal time frame out there. This after doing 5 consecutive bars to the downside. So this tells me this is more of really just a counter trend move inside of ticker symbol VALE, at least at this stage here. That's what I would say as of 11:45. So I hope that helps you out, Dano. Thank you so much for your request. We had Dennis in West Palm Beach wants to take a look at Microsoft. Microsoft, when I looked at it earlier, breaking out big time. Let's go see if it still is. There we go. Oh, it's not. Well, it was. So let's take a look at Microsoft. What is it doing? What is it not doing? If we take a look at the daily time frame chart, it's potentially taking out a B point. So the B point here was from the trading day of February 8th, 54 million shares. In 2 hours of trading, you have done 30 million shares. So it has the volume. The question is, can it close above the B point? The B point here would be the high at 276.76. You're at 277 right now. If price does close above that, well, you're going to get another A to B equals CD to the upside. We'll take a look at it. We'll go over to my other charts to do that measuring tool. We'll just stay here and take a look at the daily, weekly, and monthly, see what other signal information that we have. You're above profile, you're above a green oscillator and change line, you're above a TD9 count breakdown area. Boy, the daily chart looks very bullish, except for this little sell-off here intraday. If we look at the weekly time frame chart, you're above profile, which is at 271. That suggests it wants to make a move to the 293.30 type area. The issue that Microsoft has is really Dennis, is at the monthly oscillator and change line. That is acting as your resistance point right now. That resistance level is up at the 281.56. If I look at a 30-minute time frame for Microsoft, I don't see any kind of a top that is present. Certainly there's A to B equals CD pattern. So we'll give it the sell to D point pattern. And prices right now just about is testing the top of its daily, 30-minute profile. Support here on Microsoft. On any further move to the downside, you'd watch the 275.01 area. That's the bullish structured 30-minute market profile for Microsoft. So make a call here, Steve. Well, the call was we're going to go look at the back or black background charts, whichever language you prefer, and see what the A to B equals CD patterns look like here. So let's get over to those. Let's move over to the multiple time frames. Let's get Microsoft in here, and let's take a look at what the price projection would be if, in fact, we get a close above a swing point today inside of Microsoft. So that was a small one. Let's do this here. Let's type in a new A to B equals CD pattern. So our A point that I'm using out here for this one is going to be the low from January 6th. The high out here is going to be February the 8th. And then the low of the pattern, the C point, looks like it is, I don't want to look like it. I want to get it correct here. So we've got 251.11, 245, so that's lower. And what do we got here? We have 245.73, 245.79. So there we go. So here's our C point. And you'll see that the 1-to-1 would take us up to 303. But this is only a 54% retracement. And so this would more likely do more than a 1-to-1, A to B equals CD to the upside. So again, what you're watching is that 276.79 level. If we get a close above that, we're likely going to have the volume, because the volume on that trading session, again, was 54 million shares. You're already at 32 million shares. So the signal coming from Microsoft for its daily time frame, assuming it closes today, above 276.76. I don't know what I drew in there on that yellow line. Doesn't matter. If price does close about 276.76, you've got to have a confirmed A to B equals CD to the upside. And the weekly chart is saying, hey, I want to get up to the 293 level. That gets us towards that 303 1-to-1 price projection level. That's what I see when we take a look at Microsoft, Dennis. Have a wonderful weekend in West Palm Beach. Dan wanted to take a look at the NQs out there, really the Qs. But Dan, in order for me to give you some information, I really got to take a look at the NQ. And I want to give you accurate information and information that you should pay attention to. The first thing, you're wondering, will the Qs get down to 276? Well, the Qs and the NQ have a Gartley buy pattern. That Gartley buy pattern was established on this trading day. This was March the 2nd. Oh, which chart am I on? I'm on the black. Sorry about that. I'll tell you what, since I am on the black background chart, everything happens for us. Let me just get over to this chart here, take a look at the NQ. And so, let me actually just draw in the pattern now, just so you can see this is the Gartley buy pattern that we're drawing in here. The A point was the high from February 2nd. The B point was the low from March the 2nd. And then the C point was the high on March the 6th. That wasn't it. Wait a minute. That's one that. Why was I taking that? That's what would happen if we broke through that swing point. My apology. All right, now let's put in the proper A to B equals CD out here. It's that swing high from February 2nd, the swing low from February 10th, the swing high from February 16th. 0.786 retracement. It makes a 1 to 1.272, a 1 to 1.618. A to B equals CD to the downside. It gets confirmed with a bull sash candle out there. So your support area inside the NQ is 11,964. Please note that even though we are still below that swing point, which it traded into yesterday with volume, February 2nd out there, we're still above the top of its profile. The top of the profile is resistance. Since we closed above it yesterday, that could be support. So what right now, I'll give you downside levels with regard to the NQ out there, but you got the profile at 12,459, another one at 12,214, and then another one at 11,969. And you really need to close below 11,964.25 to even entertain that the Qs would get down to 276. I'm not saying that it can't happen. It's just the Qs are stronger than anything else right now. Probably not the best vehicle to short if you're going to short. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back. So we do have a couple of requests in only a couple minutes here. What we see on the NQ, you had a nice TD9 count top on the 240-minute chart. Prices testing support. That's that green oscillator and change line. Same thing on the 120-minute time frame chart out here. Prices into a support level. So knowing that we're in a support level here, I'd say watch the 10-minute chart out there. Excuse me. I don't normally say that, but here on the 10-minute chart, you've got a nice TD9 count bottom. So if the NQs are going to continue to head lower, they need to take out the low that took place at about 1150. That low is 12,569.50 out there. But again, I'd be careful in shorting the Qs. It's the stronger of the four equity future contracts out here. I'd look to be shorting something else. So I hope that helps you out. Let's go to the other two requests that have come in, see if we can get to those here. One was to take a look at, no, that wasn't it. It was to take a look at ARKG, this is for McGuppy out here. So we'll take a look at ARKG. The question is, I think the question was, well, where's the oscillator and change zone? Well, prices below it on a daily basis. It's red. It's 280. It's 28.92. You close below that, it suggests move back to the bottom of its profile, 27.21. That's what I see on the daily time frame. The weekly time frame out here, you're trading below. You're trading really right at its oscillator and change line, so not a clear signal there. The monthly just testing its breakout support at 28.71. So what else do I have? I've got a 30-minute. I don't see any kind of bottom. So it does look to me like ARKG wants to continue to move lower, McGuppy. So I do hope that helps out. You can see where the profiles are in the daily, 27.21 at the bottom and 29.86 and 30.30 at the top. The last instrument I believe we're going to be able to get to here is going to be DSX for George, who wrote in. George, when we take a look at DSX, right now it is in bar number 7 of a TD9 count. It's pointing back to a breakout area of 369. I don't see any kind of a bottom pattern here just yet. This could form a TD9 count bottom, but that wouldn't take place until sometime next week. So when I say sometime next week, 7, 8, 9, that would be between Tuesday and Thursday of next week. So maybe we take a look at it there on a weekly basis. This is going to pull back to test support at the bottom of its profile at 367. Monthly is not giving us any kind of bullish information out here. So it does look like DSX still wants lower price. Folks, stay tuned. We got great programming lined up for you. Thinkorswim is up next. Have a fantastic Friday, fantastic weekend. And yes, part of my bracket already busted, like many others out there. Have a great one, folks. Take care.